Welcome to Daily Timothy Time. My name is Carl Coates, and it's a privilege, pleasure, and an absolute joy to be with you once again with an open King James Bible. Today, Saturday, the 1st of February, 2025. Coming to you from Trondheim in Norway. If you're ever in this part of the world, please be sure to contact this ministry so we can have some fellowship. It'd be great to meet up with you. We're starting a new chapter today, Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12. Now, when you get into this chapter here, there is not that I know it all, because I don't, but if you go and listen to folks out in Christendom, there's a lot of confusion about this chapter and beyond. In fact, there's a lot of confusion about the book of Revelation on a whole, but it gets kind of magnified when you get into chapter 12. Let's start in verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, she pained to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads, that's plural. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,203 days. A few comments, if I may, here. Verse 1. Verse 2. And she being with child. That child there, folks, that's not the Lord Jesus Christ. If you drop down to verse 5, and she brought forth a man-child, when you study that out, that's the 144,000 who was to rule the nation with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God. Jesus Christ wasn't caught up to God in time past. Jesus Christ ascended into heaven back in Acts chapter 1, which is still time past. Okay, so you can see how confusing that can get. And verse 4, his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven. Now, I submit to you for your further study that is still yet future. Some folks will tell you, and again, it's not for me to say, oh, you're wrong. No. Rather, I would submit to you that is still yet future. Yes, angels did buy the merchandise in time past. It was Satan selling his policy of evil. Yes, they did. But this verse is still yet future. Another thing too, in verse 6, and the woman fled into the wilderness. The woman being Israel, fled into the wilderness. Now, I remember years ago being in Jordan, going to the Petra Caves, and the tour guide that I had was indicating to us that that's where the remnants are going to hang out there in Petra. And they had he had his reasons for why. And when you... Yeah, that was when I was steeped in Pentecostalism. Now I've shifted. I preached a message of grace. Paul's my apostle, not Peter, and that changes everything. So the fled into the world. I would submit to you that that's not Jordan, and that's a wonderful study for another time. Anyway, I see time's up for today. Enjoy this read today. Listen to this a few times. Take it back to your own study. It's a really interesting. I mean, I've got tons of cross references in my margin of my Bible. I'd love to be able to teach this, but sure, that's for another time. Anyway, folks, if you want to study this book out, go to helpersofyourjoy.com. Pastor John Verstegen has taught through the book of Revelation. Like I said most every day this week, he is a wonderful teacher. Go spend some time with John going through Revelation. You'll be glad that you did. Wherever you are around the world, thank you for listening. Share this on your socials, and if the Lord tarries, we'll connect again tomorrow. Keep your sword sharp, soldier. Grace and peace to you. Maranatha.